Did you see our special super secret agent guest today?
Yes.
Are we ready? Why don't we bring the guest out here just for fun? The first guest. Yes, bring the first guest out.
Guest number one.
Guest number one. Just in case the accident. Yes, peas on the table. Everybody, this is Inspector Dale Cooper, the Hedgehog.
Oh my God.
Hey, Inspector Dale Cooper. Do I put this in my hand? Or do I just give it to him?
You can put it right down in front of him. We'll see it.
Hey, come here.
We just bit your finger off.
Come here. This is for you. This is for you, Inspector Dale Cooper. I know you're afraid, but yeah, look, that's your treat.
Don't be afraid.
That's your treat. Go ahead.
Ooh,
He was a little
prickly.
sleepy when I took him out of his pouch.
So tell us a little bit about your hedgehog.
So his name is Special Agent Dale Cooper. He's a hedgehog.
Eat your treat.
Loves listening to RAWtalk every Monday.
He's eating it.
Oh, he's eating it. He loves his treats. They are chicken, carrot, and spinach treats.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, he resides with Leanne and I.
He resides with Lee.
In beautiful southern New Jersey.
He's like a little mini pig. But
Yeah.
like a porcupine
It's
pig.
almost like a possum-like in the face.
Yeah, very.
Then hamsterish, but then he's got swords on his back.
I like
It's like this. You ready?
His sweet NSYNC dyed tips.
Thank
Yeah.
you, guys. I call this salt and pepper hair. Thank you for the treat, everybody. My name is Inspector Dale Cooper. You can find me on Instagram at Inspector Dale Cooper, on Twitter at Inspector Dale Cooper, and on the Pooper Cooper. Ooh, I'm gonna go onto your table. You can let him go on the table. Let's see what happens. Plus, we
All
gotta
right.
get we gotta get
When
the
he
show started.
pees, I'm not getting yelled at.
If you pee on my table, Inspector Dale Cooper, that will be the end of you.
I'll come get him when he gets fussy.
Oh, he must have heard you because he's going back now.
Oh, is he gonna roll into a ball?
He's got to collect the coins.
Bing.
Or the rings.
Bing.
Someone corrected us
All right,
on
are
that.
we leaving him here, or do we want to put him to sleep?
Jared's like, get him off the freaking table.
I'll get him.
Wait, where's he going?
Oh,
he
he's
wants to
moving.
say hi to me?
Oh, he's saying hi.
Is he gonna like sting me?
He thinks you're another hedgehog because you got the hair.
Oh, he thinks you're like the mama hedgehog.
Mama hedgehog.
Mom, is
Mama hedgehog.
Mom?
You want to see how quick he'll get into his pouch?
Yes, let's get him into his pouch so we can get started with the show. I'm sure people are enjoying Mr. Inspector Dale Cooper. And there he goes.
He just jumps right
into
in.
his pouch. Bye, Inspector Dale Cooper.
Bye.
All right, here we go.
Bye,
Let's get
Dad.
the show started. Jared Polin, FronosPhoto.com. Welcome to RAWtalk, episode number 121. This one we are calling This is How Much Money YouTubers Make, or How Much YouTubers Make. That is a major question that a lot of people have tried to figure out over time, and I know how much YouTubers make, at least based off of what I can make on there, so I am okay with sharing this information. Now, the reason I'm going to share this information is that breaking any rules?
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, but I don't know if that breaks any terms of service rules.
I'm
now
sure
that
it's
I mention it. Well, I'm not giving exact information. I'm just giving, in my opinion, information, how much I think I generally could make there, or how much other people could make. The reason I'm bringing this up is there was a huge terms of service change that affects content creators. And I know a lot of people out there are content creators or looking to create content, and we're going to discuss that in detail when we come up a little bit later, because that's a whole section unto itself. We also have Mr. Jaleel King. Don't call him Jaleel White. He is not Steve Urkel. He will be coming up later with some inspirational words. I figured we would have him on again. We had him on almost over 2 years ago at this point.
Over 100 episodes ago, I think, right?
Over 100 episodes
Yeah.
ago. Holy wow, that's
Crazy,
a lot of
right?
episodes. Wow. That is pretty insane. So we have Photo News, Gear of the Week, and we have Wheel of Fro, which is being selected from somebody who went over onto the Snapchat to watch one of those chats. Snapchats, I put that up on Facebook. And hi, Sutter.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. Sitting over here, checking times, taking notes, wearing my glasses.
What's Inspector Dale Cooper going to do this whole time?
I put him, he has a little carrier. He's behind the egg chair. I just put him in there so he doesn't run off.
I know. We don't want a little rodent running around.
Mid-show, you see him running.
It's a rat. It's a rat. I don't have an official plug this week.
Nothing?
No, there's no official plugs this week. Speaking of new terms of services from YouTube, but no, what I came across because Video Blocks told me about this. Actually, they told my advertising guy about this, and they were curious if I would talk about it. But it's actually something that can get people money, make them money. You don't have to spend money. That's why I'm calling it. It's not really a plug because they're opening a marketplace for videos that you can upload. Meaning you go into your town and you get some interesting B-roll or just footage of the town center or different things along those lines. Or say you want to take pictures of somebody swinging a bat and hitting a wiffle ball. You never know. Somebody may need a wiffle ball B-roll or something for video blocks. So what they're opening is kind of like a stock exchange, stock market type thing, like stock photos, and instead it's stock video where you can upload random footage that you have, follow the rules that they have for it, and then if somebody wants that, they can pay for it. And Video Blocks is giving you all the revenue. They're giving you all of it.
Everything.
Everything. The only thing that they keep or that they don't keep is that there's fees involved with taking payments. So because of credit card fees, but they're giving you all of the profits from it.
Nice.
So if you have a 4K camera, they are looking for 4K footage. Put up 4K footage of everything, and I believe it's like $199 if somebody wants to use it. I don't know how well it's going to work. I don't know how many people are going to go there and be like, well, I guess where it would work if somebody needed something that specific and they found your video, they're like, well, for $99, that's the answer that I needed, you know? So anyway, so that's something that they're going to open up. I think it starts in April, but I thought it was a smart idea, especially if people want to throw up their videos and maybe make money off of it.
I should put up all my B-roll.
No. But the key to it, guys, we were talking to Todd about this. Like, Todd's like, what B-roll does he wish that he has? So that's it. That end of it's over. Now I'm just talking about the Todd part. Todd was saying, you always find the landmarks, but you never find just the generic street scenes or the bad neighborhoods.
The real street scenes.
The real street scenes, as Todd said.
Yeah.
But that's true. It's like Philadelphia street scenes. Well, maybe you need something at Passyunk something, and you need something there. It's not just the landmark, it's the other things. So if I was going to be putting up this stock video, if I was to go do it, I would just think of things that could be used, like cars going down the highway, lights changing, time lapse of lights changing late at night. You know what I mean? Stoplights. That stuff gets used all the time with cars going by fast. You just have to think what could be used, and you put it up there for sale. You own the rights, but basically you're selling licenses to it and making money. So it's a possibility. It's a good idea to consider doing that.
I feel like aerial footage would be perfect, like drone footage.
Oh, speaking of drone footage, is it time to get to photo news?
I think it is time.
Why don't we just go right into photo news?
Well, Jared.
Being that I allude, because drones come up today.
I guess I should talk about that first.
Why don't you talk about that first, Stephen?
So the FAA, they unveiled their new official...
The FAA.
The FAA. No, just the FAA. They unveiled their new official rules for commercial drone usage. The new guidelines are more relaxed than people expected, which is certainly a plus. In quotes, we want to maintain today's outstanding level of aviation safety without placing an undue regulatory burden on an emerging industry, end quote, says the FAA Administrator Michael Horta. They state that for drones weighing less than 55 pounds, operators must be at least 17 years old, pass an aeronautical knowledge test, and obtain a...
Online.
Yep. And obtain an FAA UAS operator certificate. Now, operators will also be required to repass the test every 2 years to keep their certification up to date. These are the main rules proposed by the FAA in the press release, though. Line of sight. They say a small UAS operator must also always see and avoid manned aircraft. If there is a risk of collision, the UAS operator must be the first to maneuver away. Safety first. They say the operator must discontinue the flight when continuing would pose a hazard to other aircraft, people, or property. Emerging awareness, they say a small UAS operator must access weather conditions, airspace restrictions, and the location of people to lessen risks if he or she loses control of the UAS. No flying over people, which is a big one. They say a small UAS must not fly over people, except those directly involved with the flight. Altitude and speed. Flight should be limited to 500 feet altitude and no faster than 100 miles an hour.
That's fucking fast.
Which is super fast. It should have been like 50.
Hey guys, I have a drone here that goes 100 miles an hour. It goes faster than most cars flying down the street. So
just drone races, drag races.
Well, we want a drone wars.
Well, I think the idea with that is it's not only copters, it's also planes and stuff too with cameras on them.
Any commercial drone usage. Drone, I believe they just said is pretty much anything under 55 pounds for commercial drone usage.
That's radio controlled.
Yeah, that's radio controlled. So it's pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have restricted areas. Operators must stay out of airport flight paths and restricted airspace areas and obey any FAA temporary flight restrictions. The guidelines also state that drones cannot be used in a careless or reckless manner, of course.
So no drinking and droning.
No drinking and droning, and that objects cannot be dropped from the drones.
Do you know what drinking and droning would sound like?
What? And they're currently considering whether it should create a separate set of guidelines for micro drones weighing less than 4.4 pounds, the really small ones, the nano drones, I think. It is asking the public to weigh in while it makes a final call on this, with the proposed rules being open to public opinion for the next 60 days or so. You can read the official document. It's over on the website. We posted it.
Fronosphoto.com/RAWtalk-121.
If you really want to get specific of all the deets and all that stuff.
You done?
Yeah, for that part.
I think the rules are pretty fair as of right now.
Yeah, they're not bad.
I think it makes total sense. I think there will be, like, when we were leaving my loft yesterday and I was talking to my neighbor, I told him about it because they do drone footage for stuff.
Do they?
And he's like, oh, the FAA screws everything up. You know what? Yeah, so what? They're putting a best foot forward here to try to do something good, or to try to put regulations on it that aren't saying no, you can't fly a drone unless you can fly an actual airplane. So they took a proactive approach to it. I think it makes sense. Not being able to fly over people's heads is something that most people are going to break, because that's like, I've seen it at Festival Pier during concerts. They were flying it over people's heads. That's just stupid. I also think there's probably going to be separate insurance. They should actually say you need to carry separate insurance.
They should.
That's something in there. You need to have special drone insurance which has liability in case it falls and hurts somebody. I think I would seek for myself to fly the thing to have special insurance, even though I'm covered with $1 million liability to begin with. That's important. The test thing every 2 years, that's perfectly fine. The other question is, though, how are they going to regulate it?
Yeah, well, and they're not doing like inspections or anything like that. They're not going to inspect your drone and make sure it's up to date or anything like that.
You're really, hopefully you get a card, you carry the card around. But how are they gonna? Who's gonna administer the rules?
Is it gonna be like normal police?
Yeah, the police gonna bother them. So, oh, excuse me, can I see your drone card?
Please, listen up.
Stop.
Your drone is not regulated.
Land that drone right meow.
Quick, play the regulator music.
Bam, 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 bam. I almost went into Star Wars, but then I was like, did we get sued for that? Photo news.
And then speaking of drones, a photographer named Alex Chacon documented his recent trip to Veracruz, Mexico, with drone selfies in a new short video he put together. There, you happy?
Thanks.
It's off the table now. He's calling them dronies. They're drone selfies. He captured each moment.
DJI does that too. They call the dronies.
Oh, yeah. He captured each moment and location with the drone by first being zoomed in on him and then flying high into the air for a wide-angle view of the entire area.
Hopefully only 500 feet or less.
Well, he was in Mexico, so.
Wait, did you mention that, though?
Matter. What?
Did you mention that in the FAA rules?
Did.
It's 500 feet or less.
500 feet or less.
Which makes sense.
And less than 100 miles an hour.
And you have to be able to see it.
Yep.
And 500 feet
line of sight.
But you can have a spotter help you watch.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, this guy's video, really great video, way cooler than having like a selfie stick or something like that. It's pretty much a selfie drone. Not a leash or anything, but not like that one drone.
It's a flyaway.
It's a flyaway.
Whatever. Yeah, go.
Security researcher Laxman Mattia discovered a hack on Facebook that lets you delete any photo posted on the social network. The hack was achieved by using Facebook's API and a mobile access token. He then used 4 lines of code to request an album deletion for one of his albums, which ended up deleting his album. He then tried the same hack on what he calls a victim's album, and it deleted that as well, realizing that it lets you delete nearly anyone's albums and photos. Now, luckily for us, he let Facebook know of the vulnerability, and in return was awarded $12,500, which should be way more in my opinion, because that's a huge hack.
Well,
or bug.
It is a huge hack, but they do offer rewards for people that find issues.
I think they call it bounty rewards or something like that. They also followed up with this message. To be clear, triggering this issue would have required knowledge of the ID of the target photo album, as well as permission to view the album based on the album's privacy settings. So I guess in theory, he couldn't have deleted everyone's photos.
Right, but at least he did the right thing and wasn't a dick.
Yeah, and he also recorded a ScreenFlow preview of how he did it, which I posted on the website. And Facebook quickly fixed the issue, and now everyone's photos are pretty much safe. They fixed it within 2 hours.
I have a Facebook issue.
Really bad.
Why hasn't Facebook acknowledged and giving me $12,000, $12,500?
Thank you, Mr. Poland. Here is your $13 million for finding that hack.
Well, the issue that I found is when you post a video, it's a bug. When you upload a video to Facebook and then you hit edit video. And if you had a bit.ly link or a regular URL in there, and then you hit save, it messes up the URL.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't make it clickable. I mean, it's clickable, but it doesn't go to where you want it to go. So I've learned to work my way around it, is that when I upload a video, even if it's going to be private or posted later, set as a timed upload or timed post, I edit it. And as soon as it's done processing, I hit edit again and then post the link back and hit save, and it's perfectly fine.
You know what I realized they changed? When you post, say, like a YouTube video, for example, it usually grabs the YouTube description and the title. But before, you could go and edit that description and title. Now you can't edit anything. I think you can still edit the title.
You can still do it with photos.
But the description, you have to put whatever's on there.
I have not posted a YouTube video directly to Facebook in months.
Yeah, I'm saying on my personal page.
Right. I just upload them directly now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's major things happening with YouTube and Facebook video.
Yeah.
When I get to that section where I talk about it, a lot is happening.
I just hope Facebook fixes their algorithm as far as compression goes.
Well, I told you they bought a company.
Yeah.
They bought a company that allows them to do better compression, which means they can do better quality video.
Cannot wait.
So they bought a company. So I'm sure it's coming.
And I hope I don't see the same videos over and over and over and over that I've seen years ago rehashed on YouTube.
Well, there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah. Olympus says they're working on making their sensor shift technology work even when the photographer is hand-holding the camera without stabilization. Olympus general manager Setsuya Katowaka shared the plans, saying that they're also planning on making the high-res photo possible much faster, too. So instead of requiring 1 second to expose the multiple shots, the future version will capture the images in less than 1/60th of a second. Now, Olympus's new EM5 II that was just announced that we talked about last week on Photo News, that can take a 40-megapixel still using sensor shift technology, but you need to be on a tripod. So instead of large sensors like the new 5DS, could this be the future? Sensor shift technology, smaller sensors that are just making giant pictures, resolution-wise?
I was talking to my eye doctor the other day because I went to the eye doctors. Oh, and I forgot to talk about one note before that I made. I went to the eye doctors, and they tried, you know how my eye shakes?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, he's reading a teleprompter because his eye's shaking.
And we've mentioned it 3 million times.
But I asked him, being that I have a nystagmus, and that's the shaking part, I asked about my distance being able to see long distances, which I'm like, I can't see things far away.
Why can't I see 2 miles away?
And he explained it. Well, my vision is 20/40 plus, meaning I'm on the better side of 20/40 now with both eyes corrected, which is pretty good. And for anybody who doesn't understand it, it was always explained to me that what you see at 40 feet, I can only see at 20 feet.
It's like the opposite, right?
Well, you can see something from 40 feet away. I have to be 20 feet away to see the same thing.
Yeah, but when you say 20/40, I think you can see 40 feet, then that normal people can only see at 20 feet. It's the opposite.
No.
No? Did I just mix that up?
Well, whatever I just said is right. And whatever you just said didn't sound right.
But I'm saying it sounds like it should be the opposite the way they say it. Never mind. Just keep
going.
He
thinks it should be 40/20 instead of 20/40.
I have no idea.
You're right, Jared.
Thank you.
You're right. I was just saying it sounds like it should be
So
opposite.
I was talking to him, and I still want to get him. He did mention that he wants to still be on the show come April or May to get him on. But I asked him about seeing it long distances and why it just won't happen. He's like, well, because your eye shakes, whatever the thing in the eyes are that are the receptors to gain to see the light coming in aren't still long enough to get a tight image. So basically, it's like if I had image stabilization in the eyes that counteracted the movement. No, seriously.
You need VR and IS,
If I had VR or IS in my eye, or OS, or whatever the other companies call it, if I had that in my eye, it would counteract the movement, which would then make things at a distance
it makes total sense.
come into focus. Because the eye can't stay still long enough to, it's just like having too slow of a shutter speed. So things at a distance just blur.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't mention is, who would like to see my tattoo convention photos?
I already saw them, but me.
Okay, can you pop them up on the screen for everybody out there to take a look?
Sure, you just got to send me them.
They're on Facebook. They're on my personal Facebook. You can pull them from there. Bing. You have permission. Her name is Janie.
Janie?
Yeah.
Very nice.
And that's it. Photo news.
Back to photo news. Let's see, where are we at? Nearly 20% of finalists were disqualified for World Press Photo's Photo of the Year contest for breaking the post-processing rules and basically over photoshopping their images. Danish photographer Mads Nissen.
Is he upset?
He's just been awarded World Press Photo of the Year 2014 for his photograph showing an intimate moment between a gay Russian couple. The image was also selected for a first prize in the contemporary issues category of the contest. Now, with 17 photography industry figures judging the entries, 5,692 photographers submitted images with over 97,000 image submissions. The 20% of the finalists, 20 of the final 92 entries for the final round, were disqualified once the submitted images were compared to the original files. Now, they say, in quotes, "Our contest rules clearly state that the content of the image should not be altered," end quote, says managing director Lars Borling. He says, "This year's jury was very disappointed to discover how careless some photographers have been in post-processing their files for the contest, when this meant a material addition or subtraction in the content of the actual image. It led to the images being rejected from the contest. It seems some photographers can't resist the temptation to enhance their images during post-processing, either by removing small details to clean up an image or sometimes by excessive toning that constitutes a material change to the image." He says, "Both types of retouching clearly compromise the integrity of the actual image."
You compromise the integrity of the image.
So yeah, 20 of those final 92 entries got pretty much voted out because of that.
Yes, Inspector Sutter.
Wasn't that I forget the guy's name, but the photographer you met in Israel, wasn't he saying
Ziv?
that? Yeah, Ziv. When you did the interview with him, he said something about how you can't post-process more than
Ziv was a guy who felt like you can't go over 50 or 60 with your contrast. Then he thinks that would constitute changing the image.
Well, that's what it seems like they said on here, excessive toning.
But to be honest with you, if I was doing this, if you took a JPEG, I think that should be disqualified. Seriously, I think a JPEG should be disqualified because what if it has excessive tone correction onto it? You know, it's being processed that way.
Do you think that's considered excessive when it's just being compressed to a JPEG?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been. Where did I have this discussion recently? Oh, was it with you? Yesterday?
About what?
After the D5500 5-minute portrait that we did.
Oh, yeah.
Where we came back here, and right now, there is no software for Lightroom. The RAW isn't updated where I can edit the RAW files from the D5500. So I shot RAW plus JPEG, so I at least had the full-res
Previews.
JPEGs and the RAWs. And we were previewing the JPEGs in Lightroom, and we're so disappointed. It was just like I was disappointed with the 7D Mark II. Files when we looked at the JPEGs, but then when I looked at the RAW files were so infinitely better.
It's just the smoothing that it has built in camera.
It's the smoothing, it's the noise reduction. No matter, even if you take everything off, it's like...
And to make it a real test, you left all the settings pretty much standard, so we didn't mess with to take off noise reduction or any of that.
I left noise reduction on normal. I left the vignetting thing on normal. It just left it where the camera wanted most of it, but it just...
Yeah, the eyes aren't as crunchy or punchy. Like they're more just flat
smoothed
out.
And it's like, I want to make that correction. And see, here's the thing.
Looks soft.
We talk about this with some photographers that we know for some shows that you know that we do go and do. And then sometimes people are going to, they shoot JPEG, but then they edit it. I feel pretty strongly about it. If you're going to edit, I have no problem. You want to take JPEGs all day long. But the minute you want to go in and start to correct your files, you might as well have just shot RAW. Seriously, get rid of all the fact that has to be my dad. Because I have Do Not Disturb on, and I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer.
Every time.
It's Mambo number 5. It is Thursday, and we are recording a show. Everything okay? Yeah. Okay, can I call you back after the show that we're recording right now? All right, say hi to everybody.
I'll talk to you later.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi to everybody.
All right, I hope they could hear you. All right, I'll
it.
talk to you later. Yep, bye.
Oh, man.
I put Do Not Disturb on my phone.
I just love that the ringtone for him is Mambo number 5.
Yeah, it's been that forever since the original. Well, since as soon as I could put a ringtone in
custom ringtone.
for
That's too
that.
funny.
So let me get back to my RAW discussion.
Anyway.
I feel even stronger. Now, JPEGs are really good these days. Like the cameras do great jobs, but in the lower end cameras, I'm just. My conviction for why you should shoot RAW has just become extremely more strong after shooting the 7D Mark II JPEGs compared to the RAW files. And you're going to sit there and tweak every little picture control setting in the camera every time you take the picture? No, I mean, that just... And now seeing the D5500 photos, I was so, like... I know that the RAWs are going to be better.
Oh, yeah.
I just
Way
know
better.
that those files are going to be better, and I could do something with them. It just, yeah.
No, I saw what you were seeing.
And
Definitely.
we had an honest to God goodness discussion because, for a while you start to worry the cameras are getting so good that the JPEGs just keep getting better and you can edit them, but maybe RAW isn't needed. But once it's baked in there, I can't do shit with that JPEG.
I think it really comes down to that smoothing built into the camera. Like you can adjust that, but because it was set to the normal setting on in the D5500.
That's high ISO noise reduction.
But I wonder what is considered high.
Yeah,
Is like
probably
800 considered
right,
high?
You're right. Right.
So that's what I wonder. Moving
I
forward, though.
wonder who be dooby who wrote the book of love.
Who wrote the book of love?
Who wrote the book of love? Baby, tell me who wrote the book of love? Ooh, doo-wop. I wrote the book of love. Sutter, who be dooby doo. Who wrote the book of love?
Oh, I don't know.
Sutter's like, I don't know.
Actually, Jesus wrote the book of love.
Jesus?
Jesus.
Jesus. Okay, back to photo news.
Now, World Press Photo also revealed a breakdown of all the top cameras used for the contest, specifically the finalists' images. Now, analyzing the EXIF data, the top 3 camera brands in order were Canon, Nikon, and Olympus, and the most popular camera used was the 5D Mark III, with the 1DX coming in second, and actually the 5D Mark II coming in third.
Wow.
Which is how old camera
5.
now? 7 years, I think.
7.
2008. Other brands on the list include Mamiya, Phase 1, Apple iPhone was on there, Hasselblad, Leica, and Ricoh. Now, Toshiba...
Uncle Rico?
Uncle Rico.
Damn it, Napoleon.
Toshiba has revealed their new camera module prototypes for Google's Project Era phone, the first camera module thus far. Now, the company is developing 3 different modules, a 2-megapixel front camera, a 5-megapixel, and 13-megapixel rear camera as well. This is the first step of the 3-step process, which is just having it function with the phone. Step 2 is adding features such as a memory module, NFC-enabled module, etc., that kind of stuff, more goodies pretty much. And step 3 is scheduled to be complete sometime next year. Toshiba posted a test video showcasing the camera module at work, which you can check out over on the website. They actually connected it to the board and everything, and it works with the Era phone. So we'll see if this phone actually comes to life. I think they're going to start testing it out, I believe, in Puerto Rico at the end of this year.
And the more and more you study mobile phone trending right now, the Samsung is in trouble.
Really?
In their market share Apple's has skyrocketed once the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus came out,
Ben
and
Gates.
Samsung's have Samsung has taken a loss.
Wow.
And they're losing in Asia too now because people are just buying iPhones and iPhone 6 Pluses.
Wow.
I read a lot of tech news, so
Yeah, you love the tech news. NASA, they unveiled a beautiful time lapse that shows the sun aging 5 years.
It stands for shit. It's NASA.
NASA.
It's like NAS at NASA. I mean, it's not like
Yeah, right. So they unveiled a beautiful time lapse that shows the sun aging 5 years. Their Solar Dynamics Observatory began observing the sun on February 11th, 2010, capturing more than a photo per second for 24 hours a day since then. They ended up with 200 plus million photos and around 2,600 terabytes of data.
JPEGs?
I don't know. That's a good question. They were captured at about 4,000 pixels wide. They put together a
Pretty big file.
Yeah, they put together a highlight reel featuring the best photos from the past 5 years to show what exactly happens on the sun's surface. It was posted in honor of the project's 5-year anniversary. They also have a full art exhibit at the Solarium at Goddard Visitor Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, which features images of our sun photographed in both visible light and ultraviolet light.
Hey, it's the sun, and it shines for everyone. Hey, it's a sign. That's the
You saw the
polyphonic
sign?
spree. Polyphonic spree.
I know, you love them.
Light and day is more than I say.
You sound just like them.
Just follow the sun and reach for the Guys, go look up Polyphonic Spree and listen to the albums straight through. pretty good stuff, and I did sound just like the guy.
Just like him.
You know, his first band was called Tripping Daisies?
You were the singer of that band, right?
No. I forget
been.
his name. The first band, what did he say?
He said should have been.
All right, keep going.
Let's see. Reuters is celebrating their 30th anniversary of its picture service. In celebration, they selected their top 56 key images.
Yeah, which makes sense. It's your 30th anniversary. So
pick
let's
the
put
top
out 56 pictures.
Photographs that have changed the way we see the world, they say. That's what they call key images. They posted the 56 via slideshow, along with their original captions, capture dates, and the original photographer's name. Featured images include the Berlin Wall being taken down, pictures from 9/11,
I won't
political
tell
figures,
them
shaking
my
hands,
name.
everything, pretty much. Very powerful stuff. I mean, it's a lot of great pictures.
I
Iconic
need to go check
pictures.
out fronosphoto.com/RAWtalk-121 myself
Yes,
to go check that out.
you do.
And don't add myself to the end of the hyphen.
One of the fathers of the internet, Vint Cerf, warns photographers to print.
Whoa!
What?
Did he coin the term surf the internet?
His name's
Whoa.
spelled CERF, though.
No, that's surf. Close enough. I'm surfing. Hey, guys.
That's a good question,
Hey, what are
though.
you doing?
That'd be kind of
Surf,
cool
what
if
are
that
you
was
doing?
the basis.
Oh, I'm earn the internet. Wait a second. Aha! You are surfing the internet.
Well, apparently he's known for like TCP and IP technology and development of the first commercial email system.
Oh, first off,
And
that
now he's-
TCP and the IP and development
PCP?
is PCP. You break it down into such a way that packets of information have to get sent from point A to point B. There's
Yes.
DARPANET and ARPANET. One is
derpa, derpa.
external, one is internal, and you just really have to get the understanding fundamentally of how the internet works. You have a little bit of information that goes, and basically we had phones that were like modems. They used to go.
Oh, wow.
Can you pull from audio blocks right now the sound of a modem, an
Yeah.
old 36.6 modem,
Yeah.
or 56
Make
baud?
a note of that, Sutter, please.
Yeah, audio blocks. Just if you kids out there, Sutter, do you know what a modem sounds like?
I think I have an
Do
idea.
you know what it sounds like
like
to
that.
log on to AOL 2.0 or 3.0?
like
The best
like
feeling.
dial-up? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had Prodigy.
I had Prodigy on a 386, actually on a 286. It was like 0.2. It was like 2.4 baud.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual numbers were.
Well,
behind
that's
it, but
slow. So it went 2 point, and then it went like 14.4.
wasn't
and
like 54 like the
Yeah, it was. I think it was
standard
56
around, like, the
It went to
mid-90s?
30. It was
56 modem,
14.4,
yeah. Okay,
and then I
whatever.
think it was 36 baud or 33.6, and then it was 64, and then it was 56. That's the internet speed. Go ahead.
Anyway, the father of the internet, Vint Cerf, he warns photographers to print your images or risk losing them forever to the digital dark age, is what he's calling it. He spoke at the recent American Association for the Advancement of Science conference in San Jose. He says a second dark age is approaching due to the fact that so much of our data is kept in digital formats. He says, in quotes, if we don't find a solution, our 21st century will be an information black hole. He says, we think about digitizing these things because we think we will preserve them, but what we don't understand is that unless we take other steps, those digital versions may not be any better, and may even be worse than the artifacts that we digitized. He warned specifically about the loss of personal photos that may not be readable in the future. He says, we have various formats for digital photographs and movies, and those formats need software to correctly render those objects, i.e. the D5500. That's not out yet. Now, sometimes the standards we use to produce those objects fade away and are replaced by other alternatives, and then software that is supposed to render images can't render older formats, so the images are no longer visible. This is starting to happen to people who are saving a lot of their digital photographs because they are just files of bits. The file system doesn't know how to interpret them. You need software to do that. Now you've lost the photograph in effect. If there are pictures that you really, really care about, then creating a physical instance is probably a good idea. Print them out literally, he says. I mean, he makes a good point.
He makes a good point. Sutter, you raised your hand?
That's like the story you talked about, I guess it was a couple months ago. College students were getting those first photoshopped Marilyn Monroe photos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the file format wasn't readable anymore, so they had to create the software.
Let's see, a couple more stories. And for the cute story of the week, photographer Vadim Trunov released a squirrel photo series capturing images of squirrels doing human-like things. It's very cute.
Squirrel!
I actually put that in here to say, but I knew you would say it.
Well, hopefully I didn't scare the hedgehog.
He's like,
Inspector Dale Cooper.
Mom, was that you? Mom?
Inspector Gail Cooper.
Now, he set out some props and waited with his camera as a pair of squirrels entered his custom set, which was pretty much just a Canon DSLR and a mini tripod. He also put like snowballs and a mini snowman.
Put any nuts in there?
And pine cones around it. I think he had some nuts as well. Now, the resulting photos make the squirrels look like they're having a photo shoot and even playing like a game, like basketball almost, when in reality they're just fighting over food. But it's pretty nice little story.
That is pretty cool.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Something good to show your girl.
And now are we up to the last story?
Now we are up to the second to last story. Photographer Rob Whitworth created a new type of hyperlapse video that he's calling flow motion. The time-lapse video features Dubai, and pretty much you take a tour of the city through the lens of Whitworth's camera. Now, the footage features crazy zooms and pans and takes you through insane places like through the elevator shaft at the top of the Burj Khalifa, down to the bottom vertically, and from an airplane like landing all the way to the turnstile, a baggage claim where a businessman picks up his luggage from the plane, but it shows the whole entire thing. The storyboarding phase alone took him 2 weeks for this. He says, "This was honestly one of the most complicated shoots I've worked on, and everything had to be spot on the first time." He says most of the hyperlapses were captured with a single take. He even released a behind-the-scenes video showing an extended uncut scene from the video, so you can see that it was truly a real hyperlapse, one take. You can also watch the actual flow motion video on the website. Just really incredible. My question is, how did he get access for all of this? I mean, did the city like hire him to do this? Because the stuff he got, the places he was at, is like insane to get into. Like that elevator shaft, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You seem very concerned about that story.
They're really cool videos. You should check them out.
Very cool.
You're
waiting for this next
No,
next
it's
story.
not even that. I'm actually beyond that story. My head was already onto the thing I'm going to talk about.
And finally, there's a new Photoshop action pack that has a lot of people talking.
Ear muffs are probably going to be required, and I probably won't be cutting it.
Earmuff warning.
Like last week, where I earmuffed the hell out of something and said something 7 times in a row that wouldn't have been good. That's why it ended up getting removed and replaced with more information because I was educated properly on what I was talking about.
So a lot of people are talking about this in a bad way. It's called the hanging tree. Now, photo editing tool business Sea Salt and Company is behind...
Allegedly.
Former is behind the
no,
action
not
pack.
former. Like
no, I know what you
soon
mean.
to be out of business.
Which in its promo image features a dark silhouetted image of a noose hanging from a tree. It's for this new Photoshop action pack. They posted the image saying "coming soon" on their Facebook page, and people pretty much just lashed out in the comment sections, and I don't blame them. Now, this is their initial response via Facebook post.
So let me.
Do you want to talk about it?
Let me put this into context.
Okay.
They posted a photo that showed a silhouetted tree and a noose.
Yeah.
And they called it the hanging tree. Is their software?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, keep going.
So, this is their first initial response via that Facebook post. In quotes, "Those with concerns about a product of ours should take proper measures to support their claims. This certain product is not meant to offend anyone nor directed towards any persons, nor has anything to do with any certain race. Coming to this page or going to other outlets to express your emotions will not remedy a cure, but spread hate. We have not broken any right any American has."
You broke the fucking right of being an asshole.
Yep.
You, sir, are an... allegedly, in my opinion, you are a fucking dick. And I'm going to let you keep going before I flip out.
Now, if you feel your rights are being violated, please contact the Civil Rights Department
Common
with your
fucking
concerns.
sense says you're an asshole. Common sense says something called the... Keep going.
With or without one's supports, we will continue to design our product as it has been intended to be made.
You know what's going to have to happen?
What?
They're going to have to apologize.
Kiss it. Kiss it.
Kiss it. Go ahead. Kiss it.
We are sorry for all of those that feel offended. You're not required to agree with or purchase any of our products. There's been a huge misunderstanding that what this product represents. We have given several attempts to explain what it is about, and it has been apparent our efforts do
What
not...
is it?
It's the action pack.
Oh, okay.
Our product is about having freedom, not the act of causing anyone any more harm.
Well, first off, the fucking hanging tree symbolizes not having freedom.
Exactly.
What in your right mind, anybody's right mind, would sit there and think that the hanging tree with a noose on it meant anything other than fucking lynchings? You cannot confuse a tree and a noose for anything else. We sat there at lunch trying to figure out what the hell was a use of a noose. Were nooses used on boats to help like anchor them?
Knot them or something?
That's different. That's a boat. That's like a boat knot thing.
But when you hang it on a tree...
When you hang it on a tree and you call your action... Fuck, I just got stung by, I think, a inspector Inspector Dale Cooper Quill. Screw you, Dale Cooper. You're going to the hanging tree. Anyway, you cannot confuse a tree and a noose hanging there for anything else. And for you to put this out into the world and then
Expect no
how
backlash.
can you think that it's good? I don't think there's any way that you could think that that is okay. None. Absolutely zero. Go ahead. Is there more?
There's just one more sentence, I believe, from that actual statement. They say, we as a company are using our artistic freedom and expression to take a stand against hate and will continue to do so.
You perpetuated it, you dicks.
So this was the first response. The company then ended up deleting all the original posts and comments. So they deleted that post plus the initial post.
Which is their freedom and rights to do, because I know about deleting posts.
Now, here's their side of the story. I believe they responded to like Petapixel or one of the news sites.
Which sounds like a really bad name for a website.
They say, this is, I guess, their follow-up from that initial story. We have made several statements about why we chose a certain graphic for a certain product.
So basically, they didn't say, we fucked up.
They still, I don't believe, actually said
Keep
that.
going. Sorry.
Okay, we have made several statements about why we chose a certain graphic for a certain product via social media means when we were asked. Now, it has nothing to do with any race at all. Our collection is about rising above and refusing to let the world run us and hang us by any mistakes we have made or didn't make. That goes for any person. As artists, we create by emotion and things that hit home for us. Not
Here. I got an example for you. The song "Staring Down the song 45 by Shinedown. The lyrics are, and I'm staring down the barrel of a 45, swinging through the ashes of another life. No one ran to ease my pain, You know, and when asked, Brent, what is the song about? It's a metaphor for the world. No, it's a song about staring down the barrel of a 45. You're probably going to kill yourself.
Yep, that's what it
probably
sounds
what
like.
the song was about. And he said it's a metaphor for the world.
Sounds like a Kurt Cobain song.
Give
or
me
something.
a fucking break.
Let's see, where was I again? Not everyone understands, as art is subjective. We are tired of the hate, judgment, and injustice. Seeing the noose wasn't meant to make people think of a certain race being hung.
No.
Let me finish. It was left empty to represent that we refuse to be judged and hung in a non-literal sense.
Fuck you.
Now they have more. To choose to walk away from the artistic hate, trying to take our freedoms away, this originated from personal experiences, and we wanted to create something that had purpose and meaning. We can't help that most haven't been able to see past that. Images of nooses are used in many ads/art covers.
Like
so
what?
why target us? We used it in a metaphoric way and meant no harm in doing so. Some choose to see only what they want to see. In our art industry, it can be very catty and negative, and we ourselves, as well as other artists, have been ridiculed without even having a chance to be heard.
You're being heard. You fucking responded, you dick.
It also
Allegedly?
It also is,
In my opinion?
Oh my God. It also is for the artist going through personal battles. Its representation has nothing to do with the actual hanging events taking place in history or present.
Got
we are
it.
huge supporters and advocates for the unheard and will continue to be.
Yeah. And we fucked up. We're sorry. We shouldn't have done that. We're assholes. We didn't mean it to be that. We picked the wrong image. I don't even know how the fuck you picked that wrong image to begin with. I don't think you can ever.
Well, and title it
This is
that
called
way.
The Hanging Tree. Let me say this. Banksy did a piece with a noose, and he's hanging a KKK member. You get the difference?
Well, yeah.
That's a KKK person clad in a hood, in a white hood, getting hung by a noose. There's a difference there. That's an expression and art. Go ahead.
Now, they did kind of apologize, and this is their response for
Did
that.
Jesse Jackson come out?
We also will be donating a % of proceeds from
Good for you.
this not yet released collection
Because nobody's going to buy it.
to charities that support equality and artists.
Now you're just being racist. Now you're just trying to do the opposite. Now you're trying to be like all up in this. Am I interrupting you too much?
No, a little bit.
Yeah, but it's because it needs to be said.
That's fine.
Now
I just
you're
hope
going to
people can
donate.
follow along.
You're not going to. Now you think people are still going to buy the hanging tree? How many people here are going to buy the hanging tree?
I mean, maybe it got enough buzz.
Yeah, good press.
David Duke?
Was it bad press is good press? Is that what they say?
No, it's like no press is bad press.
Is that what they say?
That's allegedly what they say, in my opinion. But this nobody's gonna buy your product. Do you want to go buy a action pack called The hanging tree?
Yeah.
I mean, technically, no one knows you have it if you use it. Not to defend them in any way. I'm just saying, if the action pack does what you want it to do, you found out about it.
It's true.
I keep my mouth shut because I could have just said something stupid. But I'm not going to. Like the hanging tree people allegedly. Actually, they did. They defended it. So I can say that. It's fact.
Now, they went on to say, we do apologize if seeing the noose in a tree inflicted horrendous thoughts, obviously. We want to fight for justice and equality and make it known we are no longer following the leaders of hate or bullying / attacking of others. We take concerns very seriously, very in all caps, and understand our choice of graphic may have been too much for some, and that is not what we want. We understand some are more sensitive than others, and that is okay.
So guess what they switched the image to?
Did they switch it?
Yeah, they switched it. No, they didn't.
I was going to say.
But instead, they switched it to a cattle car on a train track with stacks in the background pumping smoke out. And now they call it the burning ovens.
We have decided to change the image out from one of our fellow artists who has used art to get her through some very hard times, so I guess they did change it. We understand many have been outraged by the image. However, we also witnessed many horrendous behaviors by users. Our personal lives and even family members have been threatened with harm, and that is not okay.
No, I'm not okay with the threatening them with harm. You never threaten the family.
I would never
any
do
of that
either.
stuff. That's bullshit. I don't like, people putting people's information out there and all of that. You're just stupid for thinking that this was ever I don't even know how you hit send. I don't know how you can be so blind. Do we know the race of the people that put this up?
No.
Do we know their names?
No, it just the company released the actual statement.
All right, because none of it makes it okay.
But I guess they did actually change out the image, but I'm not sure what it is.
Was it
now.
to what I suggested?
I can look it
I hope
up.
not.
No, you can look it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, look it up real quick.
No, and I was, of course, making a comparison to something extremely horrible that's just as horrible as all the lynching trees, just saying you would never put something like that up.
Yep.
So don't give me shit for putting that out there.
Now, they also said a little more about this. They said, such behavior only allows hate to continue. It will not make for a cure. This world will continue to stay ugly if we don't stop the hate.
They're the reasons that people are hating it.
We are all equal. We all have a story, no matter our color, origin, or sex. It's up to us to make that change. Again, we apologize for any hurt feelings, as that was not our intent. We are taking means to remedy the graphical issue or of respect for those offended, end quote. That is the final official reply and statement that they posted. So I guess they are actually changing the image. I don't know what to. They said, again, they're going to change it out to one of our fellow artists' images who has used art to get her through some very hard times.
It's almost like the giving tree, right? And the little boy shows up with a noose and hangs it over the giving tree. And the tree's like, oh, what are you going to give me next?
But they are being very hypocritical with saying stop the hate.
Well,
and all that
stop
stuff.
the hate
It's like
when they
you started
perpetuated it.
Yeah.
Good. Sorry, I just felt like I couldn't let you finish without really just chiming in.
That's fine. That's fine. So that's it for photo news this week. There's a bunch of stories. A lot of stories, yeah.
There's a lot of stories and
As
interruptions.
usual. And interruptions.
So now
as
it's
usual.
time to get to the title sequence
Yeah.
here. And the title sequence, as I said, this is how much YouTubers make. People are always asking, or if you Google how much does a YouTuber make, there's a lot of information out there that I think most of it is false. Because the people that know how much YouTubers make are YouTubers, and generally speaking, I've seen some information that was pretty much spot on. Now, from information that I've seen that I can kind of verify, is say, and I'm going to get to this point first before I get to the terms of services, because I don't want to bury the lead too far, is that, you know what burying the lead is? Meaning you make people draw it out until you get to the end. But I'm going to lead with it right here because I just want to answer people's questions.
Give them the good stuff.
Generally speaking, there's a lot of circumstances that go into how much a YouTuber makes. But you can say, on average, that 1 million views may equate to roughly $3,000. Now, that can change totally because, and that's take home for the person. That can change depending on time of year, because October, November, and December, ad rates go way up because companies are spending more money on videos because it's the holiday season. So you make more money, sometimes a time and a half or more, maybe an extra 60 or 75% that month over other months. Some months you make less. Do you do pre-roll ads where people can't skip them? If people can't skip them, then you may make more money, but you may get less views because people may not sit through that 15 to 30 second clip. Now, I run, and it took me a long time to even turn on the pre-roll the skip option, where you can skip after 5 seconds. So how it works there is you do not get paid if somebody skips it. So you don't make any money off of that, but it also doesn't cost any money to the advertiser running it. Now, if it goes past a certain number of seconds, the advertiser does get charged, and you may get a percentage of it. Certain channels make higher CPMs because the more popular ones, the ones with millions and millions of people on it, their ad rates are much higher. So CPM, cost per thousand, M meaning thousand in the Roman numeral. And this is actually, I sound like I'm talking, like I'm making shit up, but this is actually talking like it. I know it.
This I actually know.
So the CPM stuff is a bigger, like Rhett and Link, millions and millions of subscribers. They have ads that run beforehand, and most of them they don't let you skip because you're trained to know that their content is going to be worth watching, so you might as well watch it. So they're going to make a higher CPM when people are sitting there watching that video because it runs the whole time. And so if they're getting millions and millions of views, they may make more than $3,000. But you also have to take into consideration, are they on a multi-channel network? A multi-channel network is a network where it's a big conglomerate of YouTube channels. And so they take a cut of some of your YouTube revenue. YouTube takes a cut of the ads. YouTube takes an unheard of 45%.
Wow.
They take 45%. So that $3,000 that somebody got, multiply 45%, add 45% more to it. That's what the actual money generated revenue was. So the reason I'm bringing this all up, and does that explain that? Does it put it into context?
Yes.
Plus or minus, nobody knows the exact numbers because it can change depending on so many different circumstances. But generally speaking, that is a rough estimate. 1 million views, $3,000. Could be higher, could be lower. A lot of things go into play there. So that's that. I'm big onto reading up a lot on YouTube. Yesterday, terms of services has changed. That's going to affect a lot of YouTube creators. And it could affect YouTube through and through, because if they're pissing the creators off, the creators are going to start finding other avenues for putting their content out there. So what's going on is with the terms of services, they've made some changes that well, let me just say the changes involve taking product placement or separate income, and this makes sense. I understand what YouTube is doing. They are running a business. They possibly are losing money because YouTubers are making deals outside of YouTube with sponsors and advertisers, right? Mm-hmm. So what the terms of service changes are, let me see. Let me just make sure I have all my notes. MTN, I talked about that. Let me just read some of these paid placement things. They're talking, I have the terms of services. I want to read it to you because I want you guys to understand what's going on. With the change of terms of services, they've really, some of the YouTubers are going to be hurt immensely because they make a lot of money from sponsors. That YouTube gets no money on. That's what I understand. Google wants to get a cut of that, but paid product placements. You may include paid product placements in your videos, in your video content. All product placement will need to conform to our ad policy. What is the definition of paid product placement? Paid product placement are defined as pieces of content that are created specifically for a sponsor and where that sponsor's brand, message, or product is integrated directly into the content. A typical example of a paid product placement is one in which a marketer pays a partner to specifically mention their product or brand in what would normally be the editorial part of the content. So, for example, is that like Rode or Atomos taking out saying they're paying me to do a plug during RAWtalk?
Yeah.
Is that part of normally where editorial content would be? This is vague. This is not easy to, and I'm going to talk about it more. Do I need to notify YouTube if a video has paid product placement? Currently, there's a box that you click that says has product placement. So I've done that in videos, but my way to hopefully protect myself has been turn advertising off altogether on any video like RAWtalk where there's a possibility of a plug. Or when I make a Squarespace video on how to use Squarespace, though Squarespace isn't paying me directly to make those videos, indirectly I benefit when somebody signs up for Squarespace using my code. I turn ads off on those videos. It's just common sense to turn ads off on videos where there's where you're actually asking for something.
Yeah, you turn ads off on a decent amount of videos,
right.
I feel like.
And what a lot of YouTubers haven't done is diversified off of YouTube. Their sole income is derived. Wow, good words. Derived solely from YouTube ad revenue. I, from day one, have made sure to diversify that I have an email list that's getting pretty large. I have the Facebook following, which is continuing to grow, and there's Facebook video. So let me get back to these terms of services, but diversification is key here. Do I need to notify YouTube if a video has product placement? Yes. You can notify us by checking the appropriate box when choosing your monetization settings for a video. The sponsor wants to have a title card before the video with their brand name and product information. Is this okay? We allow text-only title cards where there is paid product placement for the purpose of paid product disclosure only. Graphical title cards, including the use of sponsor logos and product brandings, are prohibited unless there is a full Google Media buyout on the partner content by the sponsor. You can contact your partner manager for more information and assistance. Let me start this. So what that means is, if this video was brought to you by Squarespace, don't put up their logo, and you put up their logo, I guess they're saying that that's not legal anymore under the terms of services.
In the title card, correct?
In the title card, which a lot of people have done.
Yeah.
But you could say this video is brought to you by Squarespace and just write Squarespace in text.
Yeah.
And maybe that's okay?
It seems like that's okay.
It seems like that's okay, but their concern here is they don't want you can't embed a pre-roll. Like Squarespace can't send you a 10-second video and say, put this up before your video. That's something that Google wants Squarespace to buy before your videos. So I'll get to more, but the thing I underlined here is partner manager. Contact your partner manager. I have 400,000 subscribers. I don't have a partner manager, and I have no way to contact them. One of the reasons I went up to YouTube 2 weeks ago to take that class was to hopefully have somebody help me get in touch with a YouTube partner manager, and they're working on it. I'm trying right now. I'm trying to get one because I've got questions. We all have questions. This is so vague. I don't want to do anything wrong. I don't want to break their rules, but also I make more money from a sponsor for RAWtalk than I ever would having a video run, a pre-roll run. That's why I turn them off, because there's other ways to diversify. I sell my own product. I'll make more money selling my own video guides than I ever would making YouTube videos. The big players are making millions of dollars. They really are, but there's product placements before certain videos like Jenna Marbles or any comedy videos, or I'll call out my Cimarelli girls. Cimarelli was sponsored by Subway to make a short video, like a 5-6 minute commercial, but it's not. It's just part of an episode.
Total product placement.
It's brought to you by It's brought to you by Subway, and in there, it's all about Subway. It's one long commercial. So can they not do that anymore? And I understand fully what YouTube is doing, which is owned by Google. They want to get a piece of that pie. I would be perfectly fine paying YouTube a fee that I control, not giving them the money first so that they can take 45% of it. That's fucking asinine. But if they said, if you want to go ahead and do stuff like this and you want to do that, then we'll take a higher percentage of your monetized views. I'd be okay with that because I know what I make off of YouTube. It's not a bad chunk of change, but it's not also something to write home about. I would be okay with saying I would pay them $1,000 a month to let me do this. I'd consider paying them $2,000 a month to let me do this. To basically let you take ads so that they're generating revenue. If there was a buyout option where I could buy time or do my own thing, then that's something that could be thought of. So there's another parameter. There's more here. So that's the partner manager part that I don't understand. Yes.
What they should add too, I mean, they are a video company too, first and foremost. They should add like video samples showcasing what you can and can't do.
That would be very helpful.
More of a visual reference.
That would be extremely helpful.
Much better than having
just
a text.
Vague terms of service. What they should have, perfect. Like you just said, is an infomercial.
Yeah.
This is okay.
Exactly.
Ding. This is wrong.
Make it at their YouTube center
make a
or whatever
YouTube video.
in New York.
Exactly. That's a very good point there.
Yeah.
I want to get a partner manager because I want to figure that out.
And I also wish they specified what exactly a partner manager is and does.
Exactly. Let me read one more thing here, and then I'm gonna get to something else with this. But there's more terms of service here. Embedded third-party sponsorship and ads in YouTube content. YouTube creators cannot include promotion, sponsorship, or other advertisements for third-party sponsors or advertisers in their video where YouTube offers a comparable ad format, including but not limited to in-stream pre-rolls, image overlays, title card featuring graphical logos, or branding of third-party sponsors, video bumpers, and third-party logos. This is a violation of Section 4 of Terms of Service, and when we become aware of it, YouTube reserves the right to disable monetization and or remove videos with such unauthorized third-party promotions and penalize the uploader's account accordingly. YouTube creators may include product placement as part of its content only if they comply with our advertising policies. Click here to learn more about our product placement policy. When you click there, it takes you to the first thing that I read. So it's not like it gave you more information. So my question is, if I completely turn off monetization on any video that may be in question, is that okay? Because I'm not making money off of that video through YouTube.
Yeah, that is a good question. I mean, does that benefit? Will you be okay if you just turn everything off and
if I
do
turn it
whatever you
off
want?
on those videos?
Yeah.
So I do that. I feel that that's okay. One, and how are they going to go through thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours of videos unless somebody reports you?
Well, I'm sure that it's probably going to be grandfathered in from whatever's on there
That's
now,
a good question. My older videos that are been up for 4 years
Exactly.
and other people's videos that have things that may be considered this, are they going to start taking them down, or is it going to say as of this date, anything
gotta be
uploaded
as of
after
this
this date?
date.
It doesn't have to be. It really doesn't.
But you didn't know those rules.
You didn't
those
know
rules
those
weren't even
rules.
effective then.
But
they
who
didn't even
knows?
have ads then, did they?
Not at the very beginning.
Yeah.
No. So that's what I have there, and then I've got some other things. So this is a dangerous thing for YouTube. YouTube has been having a lot of changes because there's a lot of competitors. Facebook videos coming on strong. One of the things that is really strong is a company called Vessel. Vessel has taken on $75 million in funding. What they are doing is going to people like Rhett and Link, which I've seen on their homepage. They've got Alec Baldwin to make content. These are large content creators that need to upload the content there first for 3 days. It has to be there for 3 days before they can upload it to YouTube, because what they're trying to do is sell subscriptions. I believe they're $2.99, and they're going to give the majority of the money, a large cut of the money, to the content creators. And they're hoping that, say, my audience who likes RAWtalk, if there wasn't going to be ads in this, would spend $2.99 a month to get my videos on Vessel. Now, I reached out to Vessel, and they said, at this time, my channel isn't one that they would talk to, and you're fucking idiots for not doing that, because people
they're
out
definitely
there,
not talking
no,
to you.
fuck them. Fuck them with that decision. I just sent them another message. But
Did
it's
you
true.
say-
I said to them, I said, look, yeah, I have 400,000 subscribers. Yes, there are people that are much larger than me, but I'm also generating my own revenue through these sources, and my readers like my free content may pay $2.99 to do this.
To get RAWtalk 3 days early, right? Or something
No, it's
like
not
that?
to get RAWtalk 3 days early. It's just that
Just
any video that
3
you
days on
upload
their
3
platform.
days
There
before other
first.
platforms.
Okay, yeah.
So Vessel is taking on major, and Vessel's paying big names people, reportedly $1 million or so, to sign on with them.
I was gonna say it's got to be the heavy hitters, like 5 million
Rhett
plus.
and Link, all these people,
Yeah.
maybe the Fine Brothers. I don't know if they're going to go over there, but they are offering them 6 figures, 7 figures sometimes
Man.
to sign on to these deals. And all you have to do is put your video up 3 days before you put it on YouTube, so they can double dip after 3 days.
But if you want to watch it on that platform, you have to pay that fee.
There's 2
correct?
ways on Vessel.
You have to be
I've read
subscribed.
there's a subscription model where you pay to get no ads, and there's going to be ad revenue. But the
Okay.
difference is Vessel's going to pay a higher percentage than YouTube. They're not going to take a 45% cut.
Do you know what theirs is?
I don't know what it is. I have to go read further. That's what's going on YouTube right now. So this does affect everybody watching. If you like watching YouTube videos, you may start to see people leaving YouTube for other channels. Not channels off of you, other avenues. Vimeo, Facebook, all these other people that are doing Vessel.
Does Vimeo do ads yet?
I don't
I think they
so.
make their money based on premium.
Plus some premium members or whatever they
members.
call them?
See,
Yes.
that's like I said, I wouldn't have a problem paying YouTube money. Or I don't think people would have a problem wanting to watch content. I understand YouTube's stance here. I understand this is a business, and they are losing money when somebody pays me directly and they don't get a cut of it. But they've fostered that because what they're saying is if, say, Squarespace wanted to advertise in front of my video, Squarespace would then, I could do content plugs for them all day long if Squarespace buys ad time in front of my videos. But again, I don't have a YouTube partner person, manager to contact to be like, okay, so how do we do this?
Yeah. Because don't they reference the client in a lot of the information?
Well, they
posted?
reference that.
They're like, you need to check with the clientele and blah, blah, blah. It's like,
they
how
tell you, yeah.
will they know
It
if I
says
don't know?
You can contact your partner manager.
Yeah.
Well, I know that I'm in the top 3,000 of subscribers. I was once in the top 2,000, but a lot of people shoot above you with Vimeo, Vivo, and all that stuff, and I don't gain subscribers as fast as those viral video companies or viral video channels. So I don't have one of these. And if I don't, how do we ask questions other than doing what I did to go up to YouTube and now have a connection of a girl up there that is looking into it?
Yeah, because you
it's
emailed
trying
her.
to help me. I emailed this article to Squarespace, to my guy over there. I'm like, read this, because they spend a lot of money on advertising.
Oh, yeah.
They don't pay me directly. Now they've paid me directly for RAWtalks that are mobile
RAWtalks.
They will pay. They said they will sponsor every mobile RAWtalk. That's flat out a plug because it's for them. So that's where they spend the money. They spend money on a lot of people. They're all over the podcasting world. On YouTube, this changes a lot. So that's my little rant on that. I get their stance, so I understand business is business. I get it. So that's why I'm not sitting there and calling them out and saying, YouTube, you're doing a bad thing here. They just have to be careful because this is somebody defined it as being inning one of video marketing online. Not video marketing, but this type of thing. For a long time, it's just been YouTube. There's been no competitors. Facebook is strong. I know Facebook at some point is going to sell ads against our videos, but I don't know what their terms of services are, so I just upload videos directly to Facebook. Currently, they can be 25 minutes, can't be more. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to reach out to Vessel again like I did this morning to try to see if maybe that's a place for me. We're working on other content that we could hopefully shop around to other outlets. Well, I don't even want to mention what the other outlets could be, but they're there, that we're trying to take these contents to the other level, because diversification, if YouTube shut down today, I would not be happy, because that is one way that I reach a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I've built up this other channel, the other avenues, to hopefully, if something does happen there, hopefully it doesn't happen, that I can still reach a substantial amount of people. That's an important thing to take note on. That's what's that. I had one more thing that just slipped my mind because I was going to interrupt myself, but I wanted to finish my own statement.
Interrupt myself.
And then I forgot what I was going to say. It had something to do to Facebook, but I guess we'll just leave it at that. That is basically how YouTubers make money and what's going on in the YouTube online world. Oh yeah, it's being in the first inning. A lot's going to change.
Good way to put it.
A lot's going to, because it's early on. This is a game. They're all going to be fighting each other. If Vessel works, which I don't know that it's going to work, paying out those large revenue shares, maybe it will. But YouTube needs to take a look. That 45% cut is a huge amount to take. That's why people have taken to looking in other avenues to get other forms of revenue.
I mean, YouTube's only, 10, 11 years old?
It's
2005 it started, or 4?
They just had their 10th birthday.
Did they?
It's not 15 years.
No,
15,
I know it's not 15.
It's
It was
10
like,
years.
It was like 2005, I think,
It's
right?
10 years exactly.
Or 4, maybe 4.
Well, it was 2005 because they just had their the anniversary of 10-year anniversary of them buying their domain name was 10 years ago.
Wow, that's crazy. You remember MySpace video had like a little section up at one time?
Oh, God.
Yeah,
It was actually pretty big for like a couple months.
So that's the end of that one. And that's going to be a separate video unto itself that we put up too.
Yep.
So now it's time for the Jaleel interview.
Yeah, we didn't even get to that yet.
Let's get to the Jaleel interview. I invited Jaleel back here as a guest for the second time. He was on episode number
18.
It was called Bumping Wheelchairs. And I just thought it would be great to get an update from Jaleel. What's going on in his life? What has changed in the last 2 years? Where he thinks he's going? And he's been doing a lot of motivational type, Michael Foley types. Was it Michael Foley?
Michael Foley?
Lives down by the river.
I don't know.
Chris Farley.
Oh,
He lives in a van down by the river.
I got nothing.
What was he called? Michael Foley? Whatever. I thought you were talking about that the
referencing?
other day. Saturday Night Live. I live in a van down by the river.
I don't think I ever saw that skit.
Dude, You had to have seen that skit.
I probably have, but it's been years. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I can't reference
Anyway,
it.
so Jaleel's starting to do some of that stuff. So let's catch up with Jaleel King right here. I blame it on the hedgehog, Jaleel. It definitely was the hedgehog. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Jared, how are you?
Do you know the last time you were on?
That was, 2 years ago now?
It was December 17th, 2012.
Yeah.
So the episode was episode number 18. We called it Bumping Wheelchairs
Bumping wheelchairs,
with
baby.
Jaleel White.
No, King. Everybody says white. I don't...
My bad, Jaleel. Jaleel
Yeah.
White was Urkel?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Everybody does that.
I don't. It would
That's
just.
the only... That's like the most famous Jaleel most people tend to know, so it's okay.
I take it back. Can you do the Urkel?
No.
I'm just. That was my bad, Jaleel.
I'm a nerd, but I can't do... I can't get that... I can't get that close.
I hear you. So that was a long time ago. We did that from Allen's.
Yes.
And so if anybody wants to check out that episode, Stephen has popped up a little video clip of it running on the screen. You can go check it out and get the whole backstory on Jaleel, which was a very, very good episode. It was a fun one. It was different. If anybody hasn't seen the old episodes, it's just one GoPro angle and a couple of microphones, and that's it.
Yeah. And it's funny, people are still contacting me from that episode.
2 years later.
2 years later, which is pretty awesome.
It's the power of the internets.
Power of the internet.
Pretty good. So what's new?
So what's new? So since then, I started speaking with Mike Allenbeck at WPPI. The end of April of this year, I go out to Australia to speak, which is going to be my first international trip at a conference called Zero Regrets. One Life, Zero Regrets.
One Life.
Yeah, One Life, Zero Regrets.
With Jaleel King.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty awesome. I got some heavyweights going to be there, like Jeremy Coward. So it's kind of impressive to see that someone saw something in me enough to kind of invite me out to Australia.
So how does that work?
So it's a small conference, and it's something, I guess, that's just a little bit different from what, something like WPPI. I think it's more like Inspire and things of that nature, something that's small, a little bit more intimate, more on a personal level of your growth in relations to being a photographer. So it connects you with other photographers who are kind of like-minded with, coming together as community and things like that to get people inspired.
So how are you, it's going to be a long flight.
It's going to be an extraordinarily long flight.
Are you good with sitting for that long?
I have been very good with sitting for a very long time.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, I have no choice in the matter. So basically, I'm just going to think of it as putting the brakes on my wheelchair and just being in one place for a very long time. I'm hoping that maybe I get to sit next to like a really attractive woman on the flight. So at least I've got something to
And
look
you
at
join
for
the
like-
Mile High Club?
Man, you know what? That would be a very exposed Mile High Club because I'm just saying. We'd be stuck.
You'd be stuck in the chair. Be like, what? It's okay. It's okay. I have a wheelchair. I get a free pass.
Exactly.
That's tough. I mean, what? So is it? Did they get you like better than regular class, or is it?
They'll put me wherever. And it's funny because when you get on a plane, they put you in this like aisle seat, which is like really, really narrow to get, so it gets you down the aisle.
The chair that rolls down the aisle.
Yeah.
I've seen those
and
narrow
then
things.
Depending on where they put me at, depends on whether or not the armrests come up. And if the armrests don't come out, it becomes a pain in the ass to kind of get over to the window side. I tend to like to be at the window side only because people coming in and out of the seats, it becomes a pain in the ass. I can't really move, so.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah.
But you looking forward to going to Australia?
I'm looking forward to it. Something vicious, man. And, Matt Ebenezer is an incredible human being. So I'm looking forward to spending time out there. It's just going to be a different experience altogether. And again, it's just my first trip outside the country.
So what are you going to speak about? Have you figured that out yet?
No, I think we're just going to talk about my experiences and some of the things that I do. And hopefully I can encourage and uplift some people who kind of need a little bit of a kick.
Sure. So, no pun intended.
Yeah, man, I always have this thing where I tell people I lift my foot up your ass as opposed to kicking your ass. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So maybe give somebody a lift.
Let me see. Are you wearing clean shoes today?
Yes, I am wearing clean shoes today.
Because they are fresh.
They are fresh, but they're not going in your ass.
No, I didn't ask for your shoes to go in my ass. It's just that one time I saw you, I was like, Jaleel, how do your shoes get dirty?
Oh, man, that's because, when you get those heavy doors, my feet still stick out a little bit from
Yeah.
the footrest, and the first thing that hits the doors are my feet sometimes, and it's a pain in the ass, and sometimes they're dirty. So or I get down on the ground for some reason or another, and that's another way they get dirty.
So talk about the new chair. How's it working out?
So the new chair is working out pretty good. I need to do a little bit of tweaking now. It's it's been a little over a year now that a little over a year that I've had it, and so now it just needs a little tweaking. But it's been good. I've only fallen a couple of times, but one was definitely my fault. So I was taking pictures and being fly with it, and did a Papa Willie and hands in the air kind of thing, which was actually pretty cool, and fell backwards in the interim of doing that. So I think that was the first fall, and just a little minor thing. So, but it's significantly less than I've ever fallen out of the old wheelchair. So it's worked out pretty well, and it's much lighter, and it's pretty durable. I love it.
Sure. So anybody that doesn't know about the wheelchair, we helped Jaleel raise money to buy the new wheelchair because the government was jerking him around. The insurance company was jerking him around. So basically, we made a video one day and then put it out into the world and said, GoFundMe for a good cause to get Jaleel his wheelchair. And people got a bunch of photos from you for supporting it. And bam, we raised the money in pretty much 6 hours.
And it was I'm so used to helping people versus what I kind of get in return. So it's often hard for me to ask for help, even when I need it, to be perfectly honest. And, what a lot of people don't know, and, we didn't kind of discuss, we kind of talked about this a year before we even launched it, and I just kept trying to go through the route that I had available to me versus this. But I'm kind of glad because it just showed me how great the community is coming together. And I thank everybody who did come together. But also it reconnected me with other people as well. And I think that was also a pretty cool thing too.
Yeah.
Because again, it's always interesting when people find out that, I'm disabled and I'm also a photographer. But I think a lot more people are pleasantly surprised by the quality of work that I also put out. I think there was like one guy who had wrote a blog post who kind of thought he was just kind of going through the motions of helping out. And then he had went to my website and saw the work and was kind of surprised by what, I guess he expected something else. But I'm glad he, got something. But it was just a really good thing. And, the thing that surprised me the most was that it was a lot of international donors as well. So it was pretty interesting from that aspect. So, some of the photos went to Germany and Sweden and Australia and things like that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely was. So WPPI is coming up. This is going to be your second year speaking there?
Yes, second year speaking there.
What are you speaking on this year?
So me and Mike are going to be speaking about viral marketing and, ways in which people can try to go viral. And also a little bit of uplifting and things like that, and kind of getting comfortable again with who you are. That's kind of the person that I am, is being comfortable with who you are and understanding the art of photography. Those are the things that I enjoy. And I put a lot of passion and soul into the types of things that I do, and I love it. And I just want other people to kind of find the love as opposed to worrying about the money aspect of it.
Sure. Yeah, so what do you look forward to most out at WPPI? So
last year, I entered WPPI's print competition, and for me, that was like the highlight of my, one of the highlights of my trip last year. Me and Mike did our talk last year as well, and it was amazing. It was one of the best ones I could say, and it just touched a lot of people. But the print competition was unique for me because it was the first time I actually entered my work into any type of competition, and I did really well. I actually finished second place overall in photojournalism non-wedding, and on top of that, the top 10 photos of the competition within that room, 4 out of the 6 were mine.
Oh, nice.
So that was pretty cool. So 4 out of 4 entered, and you have to have 80 and above in order for them to hang on the wall, and all 4 had 80 and above, so they all got to hang. So that was a pretty impressive feat for me under the circumstances, and it was something that I was insecure about because they also do an online competition,
really,
to kind of get you prepared if you decide to do the print competition, and I didn't do as well there. But I also saw some of the stuff that was in the photojournalism, and it was just like, I don't live in a third world country or have access to some of this stuff, and it was just like, it blew me out. It blew me away, so I was apprehensive about even trying, and I tried, and I did very well. So I'm doing it again this year, and I learned a lot from watching the judging of the competition, and so I'm looking forward to doing that again this year, and hopefully I do as well, if not better, this year.
So what are some of the things that you're like your goals over the next couple years? What are you looking to do most?
So what I would ideally like to do is I wouldn't mind speaking a little bit more. I kind of enjoy that. But also I would like to try to find ways of getting my fine art and street photography off the ground in a way that can hopefully help sustain me better. So those are the two things that I really look forward to trying to figure out how to do, and also shooting more and hopefully getting better as I go along.
What are the biggest struggles that you face every day?
Honestly, sometimes being motivated. You know what I mean? I have my moments too, just like anybody else. I try to stay as upbeat as possible, but I do have my moments. And, there's times when I do get frustrated, but then, I have a lot of people around me who won't let me sit for long, if you will. So sometimes being motivated. And also, I think another thing that we all have this problem with is often we see works by other photographers that we respect and we kind of compare ourselves. And I think one of the things that I want to try to stop doing is comparing myself. Because I even look at it with the zero regrets thing, and I'm looking at, I'm going to a conference where I'm speaking with Jeremy Coward. And for me, Jeremy Coward was, somebody I looked up to for a number of years, especially through her portrait. So to see that and, trying to come to terms with the fact of, do I really deserve to be here? So having that mindset that it's okay to accept that the good fortunes and the happiness, and a lot of people don't think about that. So those are some of the little things that I'm looking forward to doing.
So what can you tell people out there that may be down or may find themselves down or in a funk? What do you say? I
mean, honestly, find something that makes you happy. You know what I mean? It's not always easy. One of the things that I like to say is smile even when it's hard. And I do that a lot, but then what I end up doing is I take my camera out and I just go out and shoot. That's what I do. For other people, maybe take a walk. It may be, call someone that you haven't spoken to in a long time. You never know what may be the catalyst to bring back that happiness. And I think it's very important to find that. And then keep yourself around positive people. Positive people bring about positive results. I think that's very important. So I try to surround myself with positive people. Again, these types of people will not let me stay down for long. So even when I want to have a bad day, I have a lot of people who won't allow me. And so, I'll have a bad day and all of a sudden, hey, I saw your Fro Knows Photo episode and I loved it. And I just wanted to say thanks. That makes me feel so good. And people don't realize that sometimes these things come up when I'm not having such a good day.
Sure. So what do you attribute your positive outlook on? Because you could just go the opposite direction, take pity on yourself. But what do you attribute it to? It's
too easy to take pity on myself. I have my days, and to a certain extent, I guess I'm entitled to them. But I can't wallow in them. But I've had great people. I was in foster care for a little while. A lot of people don't know. And I had a great foster mom, and she took care of and, fought the battle that my mom couldn't fight at the time. You know what I mean? And then when I went back home, my mom, made sure that I stayed positive. I had a lot of good people around me who just wouldn't allow me. So even when they were having bad moments or bad days, they said I couldn't, because life is more important. There's a lot of things out here that can bring us down, honestly, Jared. And it's easy. It's easy to be angry. It's easy to be mad. It's just, these are the easy things. The hard part is knowing that you can still get up the next morning, unlike some people, and you can still smile. You can still find things that you're happy about. So it's just really important. But like I said, I have a lot of good people around me, and I think that's the really important part.
So what do you want the most?
I want to be happy. And I want to be successful. I want to be able to say that I've done something that's contributed to human society. I think that would be great to have. Just to say in some way or another, I contributed to somebody. Nice.
Anything you want to add, talked about, ask?
What do I? Oh, I told you, man, I don't know if I told you, but I started working with Pro Photo. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the cool things. And a lot of that contributed from the video that Mike had did with me, as well as, the episode of Fro that we did. So the cool thing about that is that the project that I was working on with them, they ended up selecting one of my photos to use in a brochure that's coming out soon. And so that's a pretty big thing for me.
Nice. So, have you been contacted by a lot of companies wanting to work with you?
Not really, but I don't know. I'm not very familiar with how to, with the whole sponsorship stuff. And so Pro Photo is technically my first sponsor. You know, I spoke for Smug Mug before, which was pretty fun, and I love that company. But Pro Photo is like the biggest thing that I've done so far, and it's just a very interesting journey of learning how to kind of manage everything and get everything you need to do done for them. So we also did a video for them, and I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be real. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy the video.
Nice. So before we wrap it up, why don't you look into the camera? Why don't you give some warm advice to people? Just, you're having that bad day, bring them up.
You're having that bad day, find what makes you happy. If it's video games, if it's anime, these are some of the things that make me happy. Green tea, ice cream, sushi. You know, call some friends who, you know, always kind of give it to you real. And if you're a photographer, pick up your camera and just shoot sometimes. You'd be surprised at the little things that really make us happy, and we don't realize how happy we are with these little things. Fishing, you know, I don't know, man, doing Papa Willie's.
So whatever it does that makes you happy.
Whatever makes you happy, man. You know, I think we try too hard to worry. One of the things I think, if I can just go back for 1 second, one of the things I've had a couple of conversations with a few friends, and one of the things that was a recurring theme was what people think, and I kind of got pissed off a little bit because I think far too many of us worry about what other people think, and the thing is you can do everything, and I mean everything right in your life. You will always find one person who will say you're doing it wrong, but what does that one person know compared to the hundreds who say you're doing it right? So, you know, you got to make yourself happy, and you got to figure out what makes you happy. And if somebody doesn't like it, they have to live their life too. So I think it's important to live your life and not worry about what everybody else thinks sometimes. At least not anybody who contributes, you know, negatively to your life. Positive people, it's okay. Put a little more consciousness into their thought, but negative people, leave them by the wayside.
So that was really good with Jaleel.
Inspiring.
Yeah, I just let it roll out, fade to black with Jaleel talking.
Yeah.
That was good.
Perfect way to end it.
Yeah, he had to roll out of here and get to,
Literally.
he was meeting with Mike Ollenbach because they're getting ready for their photo WPPI.
Very cool. And how about him going to Australia?
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is pretty good. All right, so that was the Jaleel episode. If you missed the first one I did with him, that's episode number 18.
You can click on the screen now to check it
18.
out.
So now it's time for Gear of the Week. I'm going to bend down under the table to pick up Gear of the Week.
What are you doing down there? Oh.
This is Jeopardy. Now entering the studio is Inspector Dale Cooper. Now, this is the Nikon D5500 with 18 to 140 kit lens.
Best lens ever.
Allegedly. I went out and bought this when Stephen and... Is there a card? There shouldn't be a card in here anymore.
I don't think so.
No,
I
because
think
we backed it up.
Yeah.
We do Monday meetings where we meet with Todd, Stephen, and I meet to go over what we're doing for the week, what we're filming, so we can stay on point and make bigger and better content. Part of why people take advertising revenue to help perpetuate that.
Yep.
And you guys, we were doing a 5-minute portrait, and I want to shoot everything with my D4S and all my lenses because I know it's the best of the best, and I want to get the best results. And you punks were like, why don't you use something you've never used before?
It took a while to get you to do it.
I'm like, fuck you. I want to take good pictures. But I'm going to go back and take pictures with my D4S.
Are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to. Because I'm never happy with the results when I'm limited by certain things. But it was a good challenge, so I went to Allen's, and I bought the 18 to 140. The D5500 kit with the 18 to 140. They actually have a rebate going on for $200 back off this lens, I believe. It's fine. It's a VR lens. It's a 3.5 to 5.6, and we went and did a 5-minute portrait, which isn't done yet because I can't edit the photos, the RAW files, until they put out a thing.
Yeah.
Lightroom puts it out,
Adobe
and
RAW.
that's when we're going to put up the review. That's when we're going to put up everything involving the D5500 and that 5-minute portrait and real-world review.
How'd you like the camera?
The camera is, when you pick it up, you're like, holy shit, this is the smallest, lightest DSLR Nikon is. It's almost like a mirrorless camera. I mean, look how
Almost right in the water.
look how small and thin it is. Like, right here.
That's what she said.
No, I mean, you can hold on to it really well
That's
what she
because it's
said.
light as hell.
Yeah, and it does have a nice little grip.
It does have a nice grip.
I do love the very angled tiltable screen.
Well, I got to say that the touch screen is awesome.
Touch screen, yes.
Absolutely quick to use, smartly set up, easy to touch what you want and get what you want. What I hate is the viewfinder and how small it is. If you have glasses, I was going to say it's so dark in there. If you have glasses, it's going to be really difficult to shoot.
tiny.
Without my I shoot everything without glasses. It was so hard to see everything. I was like trying to put my eye through the freaking viewfinder.
Well, and you usually don't fix the diopter too beforehand.
I put
you
it in
kinda,
about a medium area.
Yeah,
It's not
'cause I-
overdone. It's not
I'll
underdone.
like take 10 minutes just to fix that before I shoot any camera.
Everything looks fine.
Well, you
to me
can't
at a
see
distance.
anyways.
I can't tell anyway if it's micro adjustment out.
Yeah.
Look, the camera worked very well. The native ISO range is all native. There's no high and there's no low.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no H1 low and there's no L1 and there's no H1 in this camera.
It's all native.
I think everything is going to be great. Quality wise, video wise, we found some cool functions that we could do with
Yeah,
it.
we did a
it
test
does
video
1080
with it.
at 60. So this is the gear of the week. I won't go into too much more like giving your review of it, but it was fine to use. Like I said, I don't give a shit what you put in my hands, what lens you put on it. I'm going to get really good pictures one way or the other. Am I going to be fully happy with them? Possibly not.
I feel like the layout too, the ergonomics of it, just the controls in general, are more like almost Sony based with their mirrorless cameras, kind of the metal circular design and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It just feels.
The thing is, people are like,
like
well, if you're
that.
going to get cameras this small, why don't you just go into mirrorless? Why do you need a DSLR? I don't have an answer for that right now. But I did say that during the review, the real world thing, that it would be great if it had one of those hybrid viewfinders or something where I could, in the dark, I could see
An EVF, yeah.
because I had to figure out how to work with the variable aperture changing as I zoomed. Because at 18, you're at 3.5. And at 140, you're at 5.6.
And you couldn't really meter properly. in
God,
there
again, it's just the audio changes every time because this blocks.
Yeah.
Everything bounces back at me.
Yeah, but what was I going to say?
Can't change the
You
meter.
can't really meter while you're doing it because in that where you were at taking the actual 5-minute portrait, there's just harsh light coming through everywhere, and it wasn't really a flat environment to meter
and,
properly.
Well, and with variable apertures, what I said there, the quick tip is going to be for anybody that watches it, is that I ride the shutter speed first and foremost. I may raise my ISO slightly at the beginning to counteract for when it goes to 5.6 and I have to slow the shutter speed down. I want to make sure I still have a good amount of shutter speed, even though I have VR, to make sure that everything's going to be hopefully nice and sharp. So my brain had to switch over to think I'm using a variable aperture lens. And I mentioned if you shoot RAW, it's okay to be off by a little bit, and you may be off more when you're shooting manual with a variable aperture lens because you may zoom out to 140 really quick. But what I would start to do is just take a couple knocks down on the dial, and I was going a quarter of a stop or something like that. So one of the functions was the Wi-Fi.
yes.
I used the Wi-Fi, held the camera on a monopod. You're going to have to see the results when you get that 5-minute portrait.
And I believe it transfers to your phone via JPEG, but you still can keep the original RAW
I
file.
believe the RAW
to
file
the
still
card.
showed up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
So let's get to the Wheel of Fro. This time for the Wheel of Fro, I mentioned that if you go onto Snappy Chat, I should have said if you go and watch one of my Snapchats, but also you have to follow me because then I can see that you watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I did on there is I went and found somebody that watched one of the recent Snapchats from today, and they are going to be spinning the Wheel of Fro, and their name is not going to be mentioned.
Not yet.
Right now. We will mention it at the very end. I don't think they've spun before, but it's something that I actually recognized. It was
Definitely a
much
name I
better than like
recognize, too.
triple X pounder triple X pounder 43 or 72 or 69. So let's go over
69.
what's on the Wheel of Fro. I don't know if this is breaking YouTube's rules or not because we're not actually.
find out.
Is it product placement? I don't know.
The products are there.
They're there, but they're not
placed.
popped up on the
The
screen.
graphics are there.
So I don't know, but that's a question I want to ask them because if this is against the rules, then maybe I just have to do this Wheel of Fro separate and put it on Facebook.
That's ridiculous. I think it might just be in the beginning. You can't do this.
Well, but yeah, and it didn't specify.
Yeah,
Is
it
it the
didn't.
first 30 seconds and then you're okay?
And how long is a title card considered to be? Can it be 20 seconds? Can it be 2?
Okay. So on the Wheel of Fro, what we have here is the same thing we've had for multiple weeks. We've got plastic printers. You're going to get 200 free cards, business cards from them, if it lands on that. Fro Prize, Black Rapid Strap, Creative Cloud for Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop, Video Blocks. Go to videoblocks.com/go/fro. We've got the big grand prize on the wheel is still the not the DJI Phantom. It's the Atomos Ninja 2. Oh my God, I just botched it. But it's the Atomos Ninja 2, which is worth $699. We got Rode microphones. They've been sending Video Mic Go as well as Smart Labs. Squarespace, you can go to squarespace.com/fro to get 10% off your first order, meaning if you take it out for a year, you're going to get 10% off your first year. And if you're a student, go to squarespace.com/fro, then go to squarespace.com/students and register there to get 50% off your first year. Adorama picks something like $200 in credit.
Two of them.
Something like that. It's credit for them. A Fro Prize. Audio Blocks, which we have to make another Audio Blocks video for, our first Audio Blocks video. But if you go to audioblocks.com/go/fro, you don't have to sign up for a free trial. It actually takes you right to the $99 offer instead of $79 a month. If you want to check it out and you pay for it and you don't like it, they will give you your money back.
Yeah.
They'll give you your money back less the time that you used it. So it's based off of 12 months at $99, and if you used it for 1 month, then they're just going to refund less that 1 month, I believe is how
Makes
it
sense.
works. Borrow Lenses is $250 in credit. Think Tank is a nice photo bag. Question Mark is whatever you would like on the wheel, except for the major prize. Rode microphone again, and back to another Squarespace. And I don't know if I broke all the rules. What time is it, Sutter?
Wheel of Fro. Oh, yeah.
Around and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody mews. The Wheel of Fro, hopefully isn't illegal on YouTube, is going to stop on, I think this has an Atomos written all over it. Up, short. Fro Prize! Yay! Congratulations, Mr. on Snapchat. I'm assuming it's a Mr. Harry Dennis. Has an extra S on the end. Congratulations to you. You just got yourself a Fro Prize, and I will try to contact you on the Snapchat or Facebook or email if I can find you. If I can't find you, Mr. Harry Dennis, please contact me via the Facebook page under your own page, and make sure on Facebook, send me a message.
Then comment on YouTube. Then send him an email.
And no,
then
actually, tweet me
Snap cash in.
at Harry Dennis. Then tweet me. But no, definitely on Facebook, on the fan page, you can send messages. Make sure it's from Harry Dennis.
Yes.
Got it? Mm-hmm. That takes us to the end of the show.
That's the end of
Sutter,
the show.
anything to add?
No, but Special Agent Dale Cooper told me he had a blast on your table today.
Yeah, he did. He blasted my table.
He did not blast your table, but
All right. Yeah. That I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank all the people on the wheel who, by the way, do not pay to be on the wheel, so it's not a paid product placement. So maybe I'm protected there.
Yeah.
But how are they going to know that unless they ask me? You know, it's just
It's such a fine line.
So what is it? I want to do things right. I do. I want to do them right. I want to follow the rules. I want to follow their rules because YouTube has been my catalyst to being successful. I'm not sitting here today if I never got on YouTube.
I just don't understand how they're going to be able to police all those videos. That's the
I
thing.
don't know either. So yeah. Thank you, Jaleel, for coming in. You want to check out Gear of the Week, or you want to learn more about a D5500 or pick one up, you can go to allenscamera.com. That's not paid product placement either. You can do that. We talked about a lot. You want to end the show. You put up the tattoo pictures. Sutter, you got nothing to add. And that's it, guys. This is going to be the end of RAWtalk episode number 121. You can find all the information at fronosphoto.com/RAWtalk-121. And that is where we will call it a day. Jared Polin, fronosphoto.com. See ya.